Unfortunately, in this video, you're going to have to use your imagination, but there will be some sort of picturette videos in front of you. I think you pretty much ignore them. What I'm going to ask you to do, it might be a bit weird, but I want you to close your eyes, and then I'm going to paint a picture for you. First time I've done something like this, so I don't know if it's going to work or not, but let's get into this. So, close your eyes, and I have a map idea. It's for Call of Duty Black Ops 2, obviously, and it's called Sanctum. Now, when you load Sanctum up, you'll see the loading screen and all that stuff, and quickly go back and think of the Nuketown loading screen with that kind of bore of light boring out Earth, and that happens throughout Earth. It's not just one specific location, but imagine that kind of sword of light traveling through the ground and cutting open the world beneath. And you know, you have these ideas of hollow earth theory and all that stuff, but ignore that for now. Just imagine that one cylindrical light. Now, when you spawn in, all 4 players are on all 4 sides of one circle. So when you spawn in, you'll be able to see through, and to see a player in front of you, there'll also be one to your far left and one to your far right. Now, in front of you all, because you all spawned in looking the same way, in the middle of this circle is this large light penetrating the floor. Now, that sounds good, everything's fine. There are a couple of guns on the walls, but don't worry about them. They're the standard Olympia and M14, don't worry about them. The walls around you in this circled room, it kind of looks like the beginning room of Ascension. It's that kind of size. The walls around you are shrinking. They're actually getting smaller, pushing you all towards this one central light, this one central entity. Now, there are ground spawning zombies coming out all around you. They're only walking, so there's nothing to fear, but you're all traveling towards this light. And by about round 2, you'll all be at the point where you've been pushed into this light. Now, all you see is this kind of bright shards flying at you as you slowly descend into an area. Now, you fall out of the light and you fall about 10 meters below the light onto a platform, and you're in what is a gigantic circular room. However, you can't get to that. All you're doing is looking around you, and you can see basically magma. You can see huge cavernous areas around you, and it's awe-inspiring. You are now underground. You are in that ball of light, and you are traveling. Sorry, you're out of that ball of light. You've dropped below it, and you're traveling down. Now, you're in an elevator. Or the only elevator is just a circular platform that you're standing on. You can jump around, but there are walls around you as you descend into a specific area. Now, when you're down there, you're slowly pushed out onto a platform right in front of you, and here you have your first arena. Now, this arena is probably going to be the hardest arena to traverse in Sanctum. It's a labyrinthine maze, and when I say it's a labyrinthine maze, it's very, very difficult to navigate this labyrinthine maze, and you are forced into it, and the zombies are spawning behind you as well as around you, and you are forced forward and into this maze. There is no way that you can avoid it. Everyone is going into it. The issue is, what path are you going to choose, and does your teammate choose that same path? Because it's very difficult to train, especially if you're on a high round, very, very difficult to train, and you're moving through this area, and it's incredibly hard to know where you're going because it's very dark at the same time. But you can see around you. You can see, you know, the corners and stuff, but it is dark, and you know, you can see the zombies well, but it's very dark. And there are certain areas hidden within this labyrinthine maze. I don't really get into that. However, after a certain amount of time, and it's always random, you will then be teleported back to that central elevator, and you'll be able to move up or down. That is random. Although you're at the top at the moment, so you can only move down. But it's random as to which floor you're going to go to. And basically, each floor of Sanctum is a different arena, with a different style arena that you have to traverse with your team, or in grief mode with an enemy team as well, which would be even worse on a labyrinthine scale. But there is a new perk. As I said, you're teleported at a random time back to that one location. There is a new perk. I haven't come up with a name for it, but it starts to flash just before you're going to be teleported. So you can prep your team. If you have that perk, you can prep your team to know when you're going to be going back, and it'll get you out of a lot of trouble just knowing when that random teleporter is going to happen, and you'll be then ejected back to the elevator where you're essentially safe for a little bit. You'll have time to reload, jump around for a bit, do that weird swimming thing. You can do loads of stuff, but at this point you descend down. So that's the hardest possible level, that labyrinthine maze. Now you descend down, and the next area you has Juggernog there. So at the top we have that new time perk, we could just call it that for now, which allows you to see the time at which, you know, how much time has elapsed and stuff. The next level you're going to see Juggernog, so you won't have Juggernog to potentially about round 5, 6, which I think is probably quite sensible anyway. Could be higher, to be honest, but that's fine. And on this level you basically have a lava pit. You're about to be pushed into a large circular lava pit. However, there are islands, there are small channels and walkways of rock within that lava pit that you can traverse again with your team, or push enemies into the lava, and it has the same damage as it does on transit, but there's a lot more lava. Like, you can only really get to little bits of rocks. I mean, it's tiny bits of rocks within a huge pool of lava, which sounds more dangerous than it is, but I think the labyrinth area would still be far more dangerous than this lava area. But as I said, there's going to be weapons just randomly posted around on posts, like literally as if you were in an arena battle in something like Borderlands or Quake or anything like that. You know, there are going to be weapons available for you to pick up and all that kind of stuff. So again, after a significant amount of time, you're pushed back and you are then lowered down to another level. And this level's interesting because depending on whether you're playing Survival with 4 or Grief with 8, you are either separated into one of 4 rooms in Survival or 2 in 4 rooms in Grief. So there's either one of you just in each of 4 rooms or 2 people in each of 4 rooms. 1 enemy, 1 player. So you and an enemy, essentially. And each room has different stuff in it. It's very simple to use these rooms. Imagine the ground floor of Ascension again. Each of these rooms is a small circular room. And in them they will have a perk in each, and you know, so we have quick revive, speed cola. If you want to put damage aid in there, you can put whatever you want. Double tap 2. There's loads of perks to go through to go back in there, and maybe Tombstone in one. Although I think Tombstone should be on the bottom floor. So again, very easy to do certain things, but again, it's always random which room you're going to go in. So you're on that floor, but it's always random as to which room you're going to get pushed and teleported into. And there's absolutely no way out of these rooms once you're in them. You are locked in until you're teleported back. So you now have time to damage your enemy. You know, you can EMP certain perks and stuff like that. You can EMP all 4 perks if each of you has one, and that may be part of what would later be the Easter egg. But in this room it's quite interesting because there are windows, so you can once again see out into this large cavernous room. And I must say that when you're on the level above, when you're in the lava room, you can see out into a huge chamber. You can really see the chamber, and all around you are doors embedded in the wall, and you can just see kind of lights sparking where this huge light has bored out this hole that you're in, this huge cavern that you're in. This light has just bored it out, and you can see these random doors of what looks like was potentially an underground 935 facility at one point. However, that's not what it is now, and you're in an arena, and it's specifically built for you to be in an arena by Richtofen. You're there for a purpose, for the purpose of killing each other or surviving in the most interminable of locations. Now we drop down again. Now this is where it gets interesting. This was always my idea for a map before, and I really like the idea now. You drop down to what looks like a really simple circular level with various rooms. Kind of looks a bit like 5, you know, the lower depths of 5 with the scientific labs and stuff. A bit open, bit more open than that. However, there are lights that go on and off. And you might think, well, there are lights that go on and off in 5. And what I mean there are lights that go on and off, they go on and they stay on, and then they just go off. And when they go off, you can just see the lights of their eyes. You can just see the zombies' eyes, the muzzle flashes lighting up a specific portion of the room. When they're off, they are off. So you're literally playing in what is essentially darkness. I always loved that idea. I think it's such an interesting idea. An integral part of the zombie storyline is that darkness. I know it has that bright, the kind of humor as well. But imagine that being in an area, specific portion, the lowest depths of this arena, where you're literally forced into either the darkness or the light. And maybe an EMP can actually force your enemy team into the darkness, but again, as you're all in the same area, you will all be in darkness for a certain amount of time. I love that idea. Now, what I didn't say, I think I did say it briefly, was that this elevator that you keep getting teleported back onto. So we're on the lowest floor, -4, let's say that, and there's -1. Yes, there's -1, which was the labyrinth, -2, which is lava, -3, which is the individual kind of rooms, and then -4, which is this light and dark room. When you get teleported back to the elevator on -4, it's completely random where you're going to go. You could go up to -2, you could go down to -3 after that, and then back up to -1, then down to -4, -1, -3, -2. You know, it's completely random, and I love that, because if you're away from Jug, you're away from Jug. That's it. You may never even see Jug. If it's actually programmed correctly and perfectly randomly, you won't see Jug. It will just be gone. Well, it won't be gone, but you'll keep literally being on an elevator and seeing it go, and then thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm down into the kind of individual room again. But I think this is such a good idea for a map, and it really installs the idea of arena, competition, all of these kind of things which are kind of lost. I know that at the end of the day, we're playing a team-based game, but how nice would it be to install some idea of competition? I love this idea. Fuck Atlantis and Paris. This is my idea that I want to bring to the table. It's going to be difficult, and it probably won't happen because Treyarch have their own ideas and whatever. But this, I hope I painted it for you in your mind, and you understand just the size, the kind of the torment which is playing these levels. You know, at some point you could continuously get Labyrinth and Dark and Light. You could get those just again and again and again. And you just think, is it ever going to fucking end? But then maybe you're granted, you know, one random Juggernaut run with the lava pits and all that stuff. How good is this? Do you enjoy this? I'm sorry, I'm really excited because it's been in my head for a while, and I've been trying to I actually tried to draw it as well, which didn't go very well. But there's all this stuff, and I don't know what's going to be on screen right now because I'm doing this beforehand. But I really hope you like this. If you could leave a like on this video, share it with your friends, tell them it was your idea. I don't really care, to be honest. Do what you want, and subscribe if you haven't. Dislike it if you think it's shit. And thank you so much for watching, and let's make Sanctum real. Cheers.